before I get into actual implementation, what we have made, I would like to explain a little bit on like what is the context here. So before we introduce CDATA inside our model files, uh, model files were saved like this. We don't see CDATA here, right? So model files are like the code snippets are saved under the body tag as it is. There is no CDATA. In this case, we had some escape characters like this for line ending, and even for quote, for other special, all the special characters which are in the XML files were escaped with the help of this kind of encoding character escape sequence. So this encoding character represents CR. And before CDATA, as I said, we had this kind of combination of code snippets. So in this code snippet, in this body, we can see there are no CR encoding character present in this, but whereas we have in this. So what this does is this created some kind of inconsistencies when we converted our non-CDATA model file to CDATA, and I will show you that in a while. So I'll go back to this is about the model file status before we had CDATA. After we introduced CDATA, we started facing some other inconsistencies. I'll explain that, and what is the solution currently we have added. I'll explain. I'll show that. Okay. So now I'll go back to RTist and try to enable CDATA. So now maybe if you have used already CDATA, you might have already noticed that there is one more new preference is available here, which will be enabled only if we have enabled CDATA as because it is specific to only CDATA. It is connected with CDATA functionality. So now I have enabled, and now what I will do, I'll make it default. Default means don't make any special changes to CDATA section. Let it behave as it was before. Okay. So now I have enabled CDATA. I'll apply and close. So now to convert our model files to CDATA, we just have to make any minor modification to the model file, and then we should get the model file in CDATA format. I'll just change this static to non-static now, and now we can see the model is dirty. Now if I save this model, my model file here, my model file will here will become CDATA enabled. So I will save. Go back to tool. I will save it. Now I saved it. Okay. Now if I go back to the actual model file and see, yes, of course there is a change. It is asking to reload. I am reloading. Yes, now we can see our code snippet is under CDATA. And as I have not enabled the line ending character explicitly, we don't see any change. But git diffs always, not always, if we have not explicitly set to it, it will consider line ending also in the diff view. I will enable the line ending characters here. So yes, now we can see here it has only LF line ending, whereas this has CR plus LF. Yes, this is due to, as I shown before, here we had an escaping character which corresponds to CR. So that is why now we can see two code snippets have two different behavior here. So this was because of the initial version of the model file we had before CDATA introduction. Okay, so now we also have inconsistency here. Okay, so this inconsistency will behave slightly even more different when we reload the model. I'll explain you why it is. So let's assume like I'll commit the changes what I have currently, that I have converted to CDATA, converted model to CDATA. Okay. committed. Okay, so now let's assume like we have committed this version to a repo. Some other user clones it and tries to load it, and let's see how this line ending behaves and why does it behaves. I'll explain. So we can mimic that just by closing the model, close project, which will close the model effectively. Now I am opening the model again. So now when I open the model, so at this point, all this CRLF under this CDATA section has converted to LF. There is no CR remains here in the in-memory model because as per the XML parser convention. Yes, so now like as I said, I think I explained like the user scenario. Some a co-developer clones the my version of the model file and tries to load it. So that is the scenario I'm currently trying to depict here, right? So in this scenario, my co-developer cloned this repo and loaded this model. The moment he makes some changes to the model file, what happens is this CRLF loses CR from this CRLF. It basically it loses because of the XML convention. So we don't want to go against the convention. We want to keep it as it is uniform across any XML parsers implemented. It's a XML convention, not the parser specific, application specific. So that's why we're not changing that. So to show that, what I'll do is I'm making some non-code specific changes just to show the changes only here. Okay, I will save this. Okay. Okay, now if I go back and reload this, we should see this code snippet has lost CR. Yes, we can see. Now it has lost CR. The problem in this stage, what users has faced is now if the user sees the git diff. Okay, so in this graphical model view, it's fine. We don't consider always that line ending, but if user wants to use text compare, just like in any other client, they might have faced this problem here. Yes, so here if we see indexed version, the last committed version had CR plus LF in the line ending, but the current, the dirty version in my, not dirty version, the current local version which is saved do not have that CR. So this was perceived as an additional change by the user. Of course, it is because of the XML specification, we don't have control over it. Even if you want to control, it always goes against the XML specification. We don't want to do that. So to avoid this situation, we have done some preference solution for this. So for now, what I'll do, I'll commit this. After reload. Okay. So now to avoid this situation, like the XML parsers removes the CR from LF and we are writing it back as it is in the model file, and user has seen it as a some unexpected change in the model file. So to solve that problem, we have introduced here which line ending line breaks which CDATA section should use. In this case, we have 4 different options. Of course, default does not do anything. It behaves as it was before. I mean, before we introduced this, and Windows style line ending, Linux style line ending, and the same as in model file. Of course, it comes with this context sensitive help. So here we have an explanation of each option. Same as model file means it will try to read the first available line ending here and tries to put that in the CDATA section. We have provided that because if user wish to keep the complete model file consistent by reading the whatever is there in the model file and use that in the CDATA section. So now what I'll do, I'll try to use the Windows style CDATA, sorry, line ending in CDATA. Of course, if we change this, user will definitely see some unexpected change in the code sections. Of course, it will change the all CDATA sections. It doesn't matter if we change the actual code snippet. Okay, now I'll apply and close. Now again, I will make some unrelated change to code. But I'm making this to a static. It's definitely not related to any code change, right? So I'm making this, but I have selected the preference that inside CDATA always use Windows style line ending. OK, so now I made changes. So now we see here we have LF right in the line ending. Now if I save it, it should get converted to CRLF. So now I saved it. First, I'll show the actual file. Yes, reload it. Yes, as per our preference, now we can see this as a CRLF line ending. And of course, now if you look at the Git diff, we obviously see and we obviously see some extra changes which we didn't do. Of course, we have opted to do it by itself by the tool, not manually we did that. So that is, so here the local version currently have CRLF in the code block. See, there are two changes. This is expected. Again, this is not to be surprised because this is expected. Here we have told in the preference that under CDATA section use CRLF. The moment we change anything here, it will affect all your code blocks in the model file. Don't get surprised. So always use according to a convenience. Which platform you are using, you can choose, or else the best is I'll show this the last option. We can choose that. Okay, so now I will cancel this. I will, what I'll do is I'll commit this as a Windows style line ending. I'll commit this just to demonstrate quickly. I'll try other option as well, like LF. Okay, apply and close. And now I'll make some more changes. Okay, I'll save it. If I go back, now we see it is LF. So I don't want to spend more time here. LF ending. Okay, commit. I want to demonstrate this interesting last option, which actually reads what is there in the model file. I think that will be very convenient for user. So here, same as model file, if I choose this, what happens is it will tries to read the very first occurrence of the line ending in the model file. In my case, the first line ending in my model file is CRLF, which is present in line number 1. It will read this and tries to put it in all CDATA section. Okay, as usual, we have to do some minor modification here. Okay, and just save it. Okay, so as of course we have to expect some additional changes other than what we have made because we have changed the preference. This should be always kept in mind whenever we are making change in the preference. We will expect the entire all the code blocks in the entire model file, how big it may be, it will change all the code blocks. Now, yes, I have to save it. Yes, we can see it has read the line ending present in the model file and has replaced this. Okay. So maybe I will commit this model file and commit. These are the options we have for this.